And like this, when you're ready, when you have run all your tests, you can switch the connection string, and then only you can discard the old source SQL server because you don't need it anymore. Now here, for the demo, I'm using a offline migration because it goes faster, but remember that you have the possibility to do an online migration as well. All right, so now we are logged into the source and the target. We have the database selected. We could set the source database to read-only if we wanted to. All right, I'm going to select the tables. Tables have been migrated, so this is good. And now I can go. One thing I want to note at this point is that you have the possibility to scale up to an additional, to a more powerful SQL server. And that's really nice on Azure that you can do that. And then after the migration, you can scale back down to save money. But during the migration, like this, you have more DTU or you have more power so that the migration runs faster. So it's good to know that you can do that. Now we are ready to run the migration. All right. Just like before, it's going to take a very short time here because it's a very small database. But if you have a large database, you can also migrate it in exactly the same manner. The only difference is really that it's just going to take longer. All right. Now we have migrated the data. So we can go and check if everything seems to have been migrated okay. All right. Let's go to the connection string. We are going to copy that. And then we will go back to the application. But remember, the connection string in the previous session, we didn't save it in the web application. We saved it in Key Vault because we do things in a very managed manner, in a very nice manner. So we have this connection string in Key Vault. And in Key Vault, I cannot simply go and change the connection string. This is the old version of the connection string. What I can do, however, is create a new version of the connection string. So let's go because everything is audited, everything is kept. So I'm going to go here. This is a name. This is a new value. All right, let's paste what we just copied. Now in this connection string, the password is actually not set yet. So I'm going to quickly open here or rather visualize the connection string. We are going to find the password and we are going to replace it with the correct password. By the way, this database doesn't exist anymore, so don't even try to connect to it. All right, now we have a new identifier for the version of the connection string, so I'm going to take it. We can go back to our web application, which is here, and then in the configuration, if you remember, we had this syntax at Microsoft.KeyVault. And so this allows me to access the Key Vault value without having to use an SDK. So this is here the old value. I'm going to use the new identifiers that I just copied. And here is the famous syntax at Microsoft.KeyVault and then the secret URI, which means that the developers don't see the connection strings. They don't need to. We have a trusted team with role-based access control who can manage those secrets. All right, so now we are updating the configuration, and if you go here and resubmit the form, for example, we see that everything works the same way as before, which means that we have performed the migration, the data has been migrated, we can totally go and switch off the old database because we don't need it anymore. Let's quickly check in the query editor. We see our tables. We can see here all the different columns, and if I run a quick query, for example, select star from customers, and then run this, we see it's a little bit small here on the screen, but we see that the data has been obtained. So basically everything runs fine, and now we are fully running on Azure, which means that we are ready to optimize the services, and that will be the next step in this presentation. So now that our application has been ported to the cloud, it's a good time to optimize the service. And really, I want you to think when the application is running great, when the customers are happy, this is a great time for you to pause and see how you can make it even better, how you can optimize security, of course, but also performance. And of course, at the end, also optimize your cost, because this is what you want. You want to serve your customers with excellence, but you also want to pay less for it, obviously, right? So optimizing the services, there are different things that you can do. Let's start with security. That's really the first in line. And again, like I mentioned in the first session, this is a business as usual activity. You should always be optimizing your security. The very first thing you should do is at the database level and at the server level, you should have firewall rules. And if you remember